ఎన్నికలు మన దేశంలో జరిగినప్పుడు 489 పార్లమెంట్ స్థానాలకి 401 కాన్స్టిట్యుయెన్సీస్ లో 25 రాష్ట్రాల్లో ఈ ఎన్నికలు జరిగాయి. సాధారణంగా వెంటనే అందరి మనసులో వచ్చేటువంటి ప్రశ్న ఏమిటంటే 489 సీట్లను మీరు అంటున్నారు లోక్సభలో, కానీ 401 కాన్స్టిట్యుయెన్సీ నియోజకవర్గాల్లో మాత్రమే ఎన్నికలు జరిగాయని అన్నారు. ఎట్లా సరిపోతుంది అని చెప్పి ప్రశ్నించు. అయితే అప్పట్లో రాజ్యాంగంలో పొందుపరిచినటువంటి అంశం ఏంటంటే ప్రధానంగా చాలా ముఖ్యమైనటువంటి విషయం, మన దేశంలో ఉన్నటువంటి బడుగు బలహీన వర్గాల వారికి సైతం సమాన అవకాశాలు ఇస్తూ వారిని కూడా కలుపుకుని మనం ముందుకు వెళ్ళాలి అని చెప్పి మన రాజ్యాంగంలో పొందుపరచబడింది. కనుకనే 401 స్థానాలు ఏవైతే ఉన్నాయో ఈ 489 స్థానాలకు గాను 314 కాన్స్టిట్యుయెన్సీలో ఒక్కొక్క అభ్యర్థి మాత్రమే పోటీ చేశారు. అది జనరల్ కేటగిరీకి సంబంధించి. The election, which is the festival of democracy, once every 5 years. State legislative assembly and your Lok Sabha and your parliament elections will be held together. What does it mean? It means automatically the amount of expenditure which we are incurring on these elections gets your bill only once. Repeated elections escalate costs. You will be shocked by some of the numbers that I am going to present to you. The last Lok Sabha election 2024, there were 64 crore voters which were registered all over India. Not only that, 1.5 crore polling and security personnel had to be deployed, 4 lakh vehicles, 135 trains, 1,692 air sorties were actually conducted, and CRPF deployments, 3,400 companies were mobilized. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a huge amount of money which is actually coming out of where? Your and my pocket, the honest taxpayer's pocket. This expense, it ought to be run only once every 5 years. I am a first-time MP. I was elected in 2024. I have been in office exactly for about 1 year and 2 months. Would you believe in my first year itself, I am now seeing my 5th election. Isn't that shocking? 5th election. First, of course, was the Lok Sabha election, which was a very long campaign itself. It was held at 7 stages, which was held in June last year, in 2027. It finished in about June, and I remember we all took oath, Purandeshwari ji, I believe in 24th of June. That is when we took our oath. After that came the Maharashtra election. Of course, Maharashtra being, especially Bombay being the financial capital of Bharat, what happens is any election there, any model code of conduct which is imposed in Maharashtra will have a cascading effect on the rest of the country. And obviously it had an impact on my city as well, which is Delhi. Then came Haryana elections. Haryana being a neighboring state of Delhi, where majority of Delhiites go to Gurugram and work there or live there and work in Delhi, vice versa, because it is almost, Gurugram is almost like a satellite city of Delhi. Any model code of conduct which is imposed in Haryana had an impact in Delhi as well, and businesses and lives in Delhi as well. And then came the Delhi Vidhan Sabha elections as well, which obviously automatically impacted the model code of conduct. I was now recently in Bihar, and I was saying that this is actually became my 5th election where I was campaigning. In a short term of 1 year, I'm already a veteran of 5 elections. What is happening? These repeated elections keep on putting comma after comma after comma on the kind of development work that Adani Pradhan Mantri Shri Narendra Modi is trying to do. If you have 5 elections in just a span of 12 months, every comma, ladies and gentlemen, adds up to becoming one giant full stop. By 2047, and democracy is not limited democracy means good governance. And good governance ought to be uninhibited, it ought to be uninterrupted. And that is only possible if we go for one nation, one election, where we all come together, elect our state representatives, elect our parliamentarians in one single election at half the cost, at half the prices, and ensure that the rest of the time is left with no model code of conduct actually coming and hindering. It is as simple as that. Now the problem is the opposition does not have anything to oppose, because obviously this is a very logical plan, correct? But they have to somehow just oppose it for the heck of it. So they turn around and say it is anti-democratic. I want to ask them, up till 1967, when the Congress party was in power, the nation had one election, one nation, one election. The state legislative elections were actually held with parliament. So are you telling me that when your government did it was democratic, but now that Shri Narendra Modi Garu is actually suggesting that it becomes unconstitutional and undemocratic? Doesn't stand to reason. Then they turn around, the opposition turns around and says, oh my God, it is anti-federalism. If it is anti-federalism, I want to ask them how. One nation, one election, ladies and gentlemen, is only and only talking about a timetable on how to conduct these elections together. We all know that the Indian Constitution provides for three lists. First is the state list, which means powers which are within the Adhikara Kshetra or within the ambit of this, is a list which is the union list, which means things like finance, foreign affairs, defense, which only the union government will look after. And third is the concurrent list, which means things which can be looked after both the state and the union. But one nation, one election is not dealing with powers or separation of power at all. Like I said, it is only and only dealing with procedure of when to conduct elections. In fact, it celebrates federalism. Somebody actually said, this will be the end of regional parties. I said, you are wrong. The Indian electorate is very intelligent. The Indian voter knows the difference. The Indian voter only and only votes for national issues when we talk about parliament elections, but when it comes to state elections, local issues actually take precedence. I'll give you a very simple example. Until now, until the 2025 Delhi elections, what used to happen? There was a national election where the NDA would form a government, the BJP would be in power, and then 6 months later, when Delhi would go to polls, they would end up choosing the Aam Aadmi Party, which was not part of the NDA. It is only now, in 2025, when the Delhi voters decided that enough was enough and they wanted to cast their vote for development, they actually made sure that the Bharatiya Janata Party came in full majority. When it comes to political issues of this country. So once again I tell you, one nation, one election will ensure, first, that this deputation of teachers and police personnel that is happening again and again, that is happening only once in 5 years. So neither will the children's education be disrupted, nor will your prashasan, your administration be disrupted. Second, your costs will be actually half because you are not incurring, the EC is not going to be incurring the same administrative costs of running elections again and again. The third aspect is, of course, that there will be no voter fatigue. How many times are you going to request the electorate to come out of their houses and vote? It is so simple. Once they go into the booth, they will cast their vote, of course, for Purandeshwari ji, and then they will go to the next machine and go ahead and select Ramakrishna Reddy Garu or anybody else. It's like I said, the Indian electorate is extremely intelligent. Coming back to my original example of having a wedding, not only will you ensure that both the boys are married off in the same mandapam in one go by reducing the cost to half, as I said, you will also ensure that the uncles who are getting angry at you are getting angry only once. Now I am asking you, why am I coming here all the way from Delhi to speak to you? I am here to request you. Please reach out to your neighbors, to your families, to your communities and spread the word. We need to galvanize the people of Bharat to make sure that these anti-India voices that are opposing one nation, one election reform just for the sake of fulfilling their pockets in the garb of political funding, they need to be watered down, they need to be quieted down. Ladies and gentlemen, that is only possible if you are the movers and shakers of society. I see a lot of youth here. You are the future of Bharat. Not only are you the future of Bharat, you are also the future leadership of Bharat. That day is not very far off when we will be standing in a Matadana crane, in a voter's line, ensuring that the next parliamentarian, the next parshad, the next MLA, perhaps even the next leadership of the party is elected amongst you. So therefore the responsibility is fastened on your shoulders to go ahead and spread the word. I'm sure you're with me. I'm very, very grateful for your time. If you have any questions, I will be happy to take them.
ఇది ఆంధ్రప్రదేశ్ రాష్ట్ర ప్రజలకైతే ఒక దేశం అనేటువంటిది కొత్తగా తేడాగా అనిపించదు. అంటే స్థానిక సంస్థల ఎన్నికలకు వచ్చేటప్పటికి కొంత తేడా ఉండొచ్చేమో కానీ మనం ఇంచుమించుగా 2004 నుంచి ఇవాళ 2024 వరకు మనం జమిలీ ఎన్నికలను చూస్తూ వస్తున్నాం. మెజారిటీ ఈ ఎన్నికలు చూసినప్పుడు మనందరికీ కూడా కేంద్రంలో ఎన్నికలు జరిగినప్పుడు మన రాష్ట్రానికి కూడా ఎన్నికలు జరగడం ఈ విషయం పెద్దగా మనకు కొత్తగా అనిపించకపోయినా దేశం మొత్తం మీద వివిధ ప్రాంతాల్లో వివిధ రకాల ఆలోచన స్రవంతి పెరిగిన తర్వాత ప్రజల్లో ఉన్నటువంటి ఆలోచన దృష్టిలో పెట్టుకుంటే ఒక దేశం ఒకే ఎన్నిక అనేటువంటిది ఖచ్చితంగా చర్చనీయాంశమే. ఇట్స్ ఏ డిబేటబుల్ పాయింట్ 100%. ఎందువల్లంటే దీంట్లో మనకి సత్ఫలితాలు ఉన్నాయి. సరైనటువంటి రాజకీయ పరిపాలన సంస్కరణలు తీసుకురాకపోతే దుష్పరిణామాలు కూడా వచ్చేదానికి పూర్తిగా అవకాశం ఉంది. అందువల్లనే దీన్ని విస్తృత స్థాయిలో దేశవ్యాప్తంగా అందరం చర్చించి ఒక సరైనటువంటి నిర్ణయానికి రావాలనేటువంటి మాట ఈ సందర్భంగా ఈ వేదిక నుంచి నేను తెలియజేస్తా ఉన్నాను. ఖచ్చితంగా దేశం మొత్తం మీద ఎన్నికలు ఒకేసారి జరిగితే రాష్ట్రాలకు కానీ అదేవిధంగా కేంద్రానికి కానీ 100% ఎన్నికల వ్యయం తగ్గేదానికి అవకాశం ఉంది. దానికి మించి రాజకీయపరమైనటువంటి స్థిరత్వం తీసుకురావడానికి కూడా ఒక అవకాశం ఉంది. దీనివల్ల అనేక మంది ఏదైతే ఎన్నికల్లో సంస్కరణలు రావాలి అనేటువంటి మాట మాట్లాడుతూ ఉన్నారో ఆ సంస్కరణలు తీసుకురావడానికి కూడా ఒక వేదిక అవుతుంది ఈ వన్ నేషన్ వన్ ఎలక్షన్ అనేటువంటిది. అయితే దీనికి ప్రధానంగా కావాల్సింది రాజకీయపరమైనటువంటి చిత్తశుద్ధితో పాటు ప్రజల్ని జాగృతం చేసేటువంటి విధానం కూడా చాలా అవసరం. ఈ విషయంలో మళ్ళీ మనకు వచ్చేటప్పటికీ మీరందరూ గమనిస్తే ఇవాళ భారతదేశం మొత్తం కూడా ఏ ఒక్క పార్టీ కూడా ఏక పార్టీతోటి కేంద్రాల్లోనూ రాష్ట్రాల్లోనూ అధికారంలో ఉన్నటువంటి అవకాశాలు తగ్గిపోతూ వస్తున్నాయి. ఇది కూడా మీరు గమనించాలి. ఇందులో ప్రధానంగా a diversified political situation is there in the country. Especially the regional parties have been emerged in a big way and many states have been elected through these regional parties. So, ఇది ఏదైతే మనకి ప్రాంతీయ పార్టీల యొక్క ప్రాతినిధ్యం పెరిగిందో ప్రాంతీయ పార్టీల యొక్క ప్రాతినిధ్యంతో ఇవాళ ఎన్నికలు జరుగుతూ ఉన్నాయో దానివల్ల దేశం మొత్తం మీద కూడా ఒకే ఎన్నిక ఉండాలనేటువంటి విషయంలో ప్రాంతీయ పార్టీలు కొంచెం చిన్న చూపు చూస్తారేమో అనేటువంటి మాట కూడా అన్ని చోట్ల వినబడతా ఉంది. అదేవిధంగా ఇందాక పరమేశ్వరి గారు కూడా ప్రశ్నించారు ఆ విషయాన్ని.